Yeah, I guess it's just that simple, you know?
Yeah.
So welcome back to my page, here with Joey Emmanuel. Today we are starting off with a fresh and finished face for the Tsola's headshots. She's updating her headshots. She hasn't gotten any updated ones in a long time. So we're starting off her face first with some skin prep. I just wiped her down with a little bit of micellar water from Garnier. Then I spritzed her down with a little bit of toner. This is the rose water toner from Heritage. And then I went in and moisturized her skin with a Good Molecules moisturizer. I like to keep my skin prep very simple, but making sure that it is safe for all skin types, especially sensitive. And then here you see me setting in a little bit of the areas where I want to like tone the dew down just a little bit, just so I'm keeping it in like the concentrated areas that I want it. It's a little controlled basically before starting the skin work. Now to start the base. So I'm going to be honoring all of Tsola's skin tones that you see present currently on screen. So the first one, I'm going to start with the deepest tone of her face and I'm going to work my way inward. I'm using the House Labs 530 Triclone Foundation around the trim of her forehead and the crevice and depths of her cheekbones to like really hug her cheekbones, and around her jawline. This is going to really enhance her features and make sure that there's depth there rather than it looking flat or surface level. And I am blending this out with a half of a beauty blender. I like to cut my beauty blenders in half. I get them off of Amazon and I'll tag them in the description. Now here you see me using another foundation shade. This, I guess what you would call her main foundation shade or her base shade. This is from ABH in the shade 500C, but I am currently working this out of my kit, so I probably will not be using this anytime soon after this. But you see, I'm just like basically filling in the blanks. I'm going in any other area where I didn't apply the first foundation shade and making sure that I'm marrying it together basically. You see how that just brought her skin to life? Like, and her skin still looks like skin. It looks dewy, it looks fresh. And so that's what I really want to aim for this look. And then I'm going to start applying her concealer shade. So this is the highest and lightest shade that you see. You can actually kind of see it present a little bit on her décolleté area and on her chest. I'm using the shade Chai from the Born This Way collection by Too Faced. You saw first I applied it with a dense fluffy concealer brush. That's from Real Techniques. And then I basically that way I can apply the product and blend it out at the same time and then reinforce and go in and suck out any extra product that's there with a beauty blender. So you'll see me doing it again underneath her eye on this side. Again, applying in the most concentrated area first and then working my way outward, tapping that in, and then I'm going to blend it again and marry all the tones together with the beauty blender. And then I'm going to show you again on the other side just so you can get like the full effect of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure if you noticed, but when I applied the highlighted shade on the bridge of her nose, it's less of trying to contour her nose in a sense, but more so bringing definition back into her nose. So I'll get more into that a little bit later, but here I am. You see me doing the blending process again. I'm just blending that underneath the eye first. You see how I'm doing like tapping, stippling, but also swirling motions. That way I'm like blending it and applying it at the same time. It's like a 2-in-1, 2 birds, 1 stone type of thing. And then I am pressing it into the skin, making sure I'm soaking up any excess product that's there, but also marrying all the tones that I applied on her face together. That way, again, you get that glow effect. I'm honoring all of her skin tone, and look at that face. Gorge. So lastly, I'm just going to apply a little bit on her chin. And then we are going to go in with a little bit of cream blush, I believe. So the cream blush I'm going to be grabbing for... Oh, actually, before that. So, okay, back to the nose part. So here I am using, again, that House Labs tone that I use on the depths of her face. And I'm going in on underneath the brow bone and along the sides of her nose. This right here is not necessarily contouring, but it's more so bringing back the definition of her nose, which you'll see. So it's less of making it smaller or changing the shape of it and more so redefining it. Now, a trick to help with that snatch look, I applied that bronzing deepened shade on the outer V of her eye and elongated it out and dragged it out to her temples. That way you get that snatched effect. Now here you see me applying the cream blush. This is the Worthy We TerraGotta blush. This is my favorite terracotta color blush ever to use. It's cream. It goes on beautifully, and I'm just using tapping, stippling motions with this Real Techniques blush brush. So I'm going to do that on both sides of her cheekbones, and then I am setting first before I set with some powder with some Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Flawless setting spray. And now we're going to set with some powder. So I'm going in with the dark deep setting powder from One Size Beauty. I'll always start by getting a little bit of powder from the container top, dispersing it in my hand first, and then applying it in the most concentrated area of where I apply concealer first, and then work my way out. So you see how I'm working and starting in the inner corners of her eye first. That's the most concentrated area. And then with the excess powder, I'll tap outwards. That way I'm making sure I'm locking in that concealer that I placed down first, honoring that, and then also lightly setting the rest of her face while still keeping a little bit of dew. For the center of the nose, I am going to apply a little bit more powder just to give like a little baking effect while I set the rest of the face. So I'm not going to press it all the way into the skin, but just enough. And I'm going to press in again anywhere I apply concealer, basically around the mouth area. And I'm just going to dab down any area where I just want to, again, control a little bit of that shine, but still making sure that her skin looks like skin. Like, you see how it's not too matte, it's not too wet, it's like perfect. Then with the excess powder that I have on my powder puff, I just work that in on any areas that I just want to lock in. So here I am just swiping away any excess powder that I may see, making sure that her skin is set. I believe I was going in with a Sephora Collection pressed powder. Again, all of my products that I'm using will be listed in the description box below. Just swiping away all the excess powder that I was using. Also making sure that I'm reinforcing that color and not swiping away the product. So here I am reinforcing the blush that I use with a powder blush. This is my favorite terracotta powder brush. It's in the shade Chivalry from Makeup Geek Cosmetics. Unfortunately, Makeup Geek has discontinued their products, but I'm going to use this till the wheels fall off. I believe I just hit pan recently, so yeah. And I'm going to reinforce a little bit of the deeper tones of her skin with the Sunstalker bronzer from Fenty in the shade Thick Mint. And this, I love that brush that I'm using. It's from Laura Mercier. It like hugs the face beautifully and perfectly. Love her down. Now let's get to the brows. I'm just lightly brushing them up with a little spoolie, and I lightly go in with the brows, nothing too much. I'm using the Sephora Collection brow pencil in the shade Medium Brown, and I'm just filling in any gaps that I see. I want to keep the brow natural, and I usually do on all of my clients. And then you're going to see me lightly set underneath the brow with a little bit of setting powder I have left over on my powder puff, and also apply some gel just to make sure the hairs are in place. For the eyes, since we'll be building the eye as we go, especially at the shoot, I'm just going to start with just a backdrop for her. So I'm going back in with that powder bronzer that I used before, and I'm just enhancing the depths in the eye socket of her eye, as well as the elongated outer V area as well, and then also underneath her lash line on the bottom lash line. That way we have a little bit of depth, we have a little bit of a backdrop, and then when I enhance her eye and build it up at the shoot, you know, we already have that starter base shade. Now I'm just going to go in with a little bit of mascara. I believe I actually used Danessa Myricks Color Fix in Blackout for mascara, and I'm just applying it on the top and bottom lash line just to give her a little bit of depth. And then I'm actually adding in a little bit of like a highlighted matte shade in her inner tear ducts. This is the Turn Up the Base setting powder, or foundation powder from One Size Beauty. I believe that was in a medium dark 5 or 6, and I'm loosely applying a little bit of that on her lid as well, just to actually tone down a little bit of the shine on the lid. Now for the ending part, I'm going to go in on the lips. First, I'm applying a cream bronzer in the shade Laguna 5 from NARS, and I'm just basically making sure that like she has a transition shade on her lip before filling it in with the Color Fix in the shade 5 from Danessa Myricks, and this is the nude line, and then lining the outer areas of her lip in the shade Rebel Kind from NYX's Line Loud lip liner line. This way we're just adding and enhancing the lips, making them look a little bit plumper and giving that pout effect. Now we're just gonna finish setting again with a little bit of that Charlotte Tilbury and using the finishing spray from One Size, the On Till Dawn spray. Now, let's see how she reacts and loves her face, and let's head to the shoot.
I've been wanting to try this One Size.
Yeah.
Does it really like give what it gives?
It
like,
does.
Can I see? Yeah. I was waiting.
Yeah. There you are. Yeah. So I'm gonna give skin first, and then we'll update Nancy with the eyes.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it's literally perfect.
Yeah.
What foundation is this?
So I used a mix. I'm transitioning all my foundations to my Kids to House Labs.
Babes,
So that's
the
the
only
main one.
foundation.
Yeah.
So good.
It's so skin-like. I love it.
Really, it's so gorgeous, Joey. Like
yeah, I use the 5
the lip is crazy.
Okay, we need a little something.
Yeah, like the
lip.
It's like giving very Grace Jones.
Yeah, absolutely. I also wanted to make sure there was enough, so because I know in front of cameras it can like
Kind of
flash
like,
everything out,
yeah,
like, blur
exactly.
everything out. So I just wanted it to be enough. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yes.
The agents are gonna be gagged. They're like, who is this? I'm like, babe. Once I come back with a vengeance.
It's Tsola, thank you.
Yeah, period. You guys have forgotten.
Now, if you guys are ever in the Baltimore or DMV area and you're in need of an amazing portrait photographer who specializes in beauty work, commercial shoots, things of that nature, and headshots, definitely book with Anthony. Listen, Anthony, I've been shooting and working with for a couple years now. Absolutely adore his work and him. You can actually see his work featured on my new website and my Instagram and social media pages for my new headshots, as well as for Shola's. Shola's headshots are actually featured on my website for my fresh and finished package, so definitely check that out at www.byjoeymanuel.com. And yeah, book with Anthony and let him know that Joey sent you.
Bang, that's nice. Love that.
Now for the second half of Shola's headshot shoots, I actually upped the ante on her look. Remember how I said I added that definition in her eye first? Then I added more onto the eye and we did a soft glam eye. That way it gave her like a baby doll effect, and basically she got glamour shots as well. So now she has her fresh and finished shots and she has her glamour, more intense shots as well. Like, do you see how gorgeous that is? My God.
Ooh, cute. Oh, and a T ring, like.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Branding.
Branding.
Love that.
Loving
Period,
that.
babe. Only.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, that's.
I love these.
Yes. Yeah.
Baby doll.
Yes.
Like these are like the shot. It's gonna be so hard to pick. Yeah, and like
Yeah.
literally.
Like that one? I think that was the one that I guessed.
Thank you again, Shola, for trusting me with your vision and for your amazing updated headshots. Check out Shola on a stage near you, okay? And I'll talk to y'all next time.
All the beauties. I want every single one of them.
Yeah.
Last one.
That looks really good.
Yeah, really, really perfect.